And within the last hour, the Senate Judiciary Committee approved Jeff Sessions' nomination to be the next Attorney General. It goes to the floor. Joining me now is Senator Dianne Feinstein, the top Democrat on Judiciary, who voted against Sessions' nomination. Senator, welcome. Thank you so much. It was an 11-9 vote. Why were you among the 9 voting against?
Well, I feel strongly he's the wrong man for the time. I've known him for 20 years. I know the record. I know the views. He's a Trump partisan in the campaign. And I think what the Attorney General has to do, and Senator Sessions has alluded to this in his questioning in a committee, is be prepared to say to the President of the United States, this is unlawful, this is unconstitutional, I cannot defend it. And I candidly do not see Jeff Sessions, with his record, with his participation in the campaign, with his help in preparation of some of the executive orders, I don't see him doing that. So I don't think that he will be the kind of Attorney General, independent from the executive, representing the law, representing the Constitution, and representing the people, not representing Donald Trump.
Has the firing of acting Attorney General Yates and the rollout of the executive orders made it more difficult for the two parties to work together? And you've got a Supreme Court nominee coming up, and I want to ask you about that, but it's the whole environment here seems so toxic.
Well, it's calculated. My understanding is one of the White House team said, what we need is an era of shock and awe to throw the Congress off step. And that's what's happened. We've had 16 executive orders, not all well prepared, not necessarily all legal, perhaps some unconstitutional, and 10 memoranda of executive privilege in the last week alone. And what that has done to a population where this is a president that was not elected with a plurality of the popular vote, but by the Electoral College. This has split the electorate. And in my lifetime, I have never seen as many people on the streets, day and night, all throughout not only this town, but all across America, and certainly in my state. So we're getting constituent calls that are in the tens of thousands on issues. People are listening, they're alerted, they're worried. They want the Congress to come together and form a separate branch of government, which is strong, which is based on law and the Constitution.
Now you've got Judge Gorsuch coming up for confirmation, and a number of your colleagues have already said that he should not be confirmed because of what happened to Merrick Garland. Should he be taken on his own merits? He's a 49-year-old conservative judge to replace Justice Scalia with a good education and a lot of mentors on the court and elsewhere. So a good record, but how do you judge this nomination?
Let me respond to that as best I can. I was one of those that recommended Merrick Garland to the White House for appointment to the Supreme Court. He's been a person I have admired on the D.C. Court of Appeals for a long, long time. He's an unparalleled good judge. He was a great prosecutor, oversaw the prosecution of the Oklahoma City bombers, and was complimented by the defense for the classic prosecution that he oversaw. To see him treated the way he was treated, walking the halls, having to beg for a meeting, asking for a hearing, receiving none, for a year this went on just about. It leaves a very deep rent. It also set the precedent of removing from the President of the United States his ability to appoint or nominate a Supreme Court justice in his final year. And so now, here we are, we've kept the position open for a year, and here we are, Republicans saying, we've got to rush to judgment, we've got to get this confirmed. And I say this, we are going to do our duty. We are going to do the introspection, the examination, the assessment, the analysis that's necessary, first of all, to really understand and know the views of this proposed Supreme Court justice. And then a decision will be made, and Democrats will either vote for him or vote against him. But the process is important, and it's important that we carry it out. It's also important, I think, that we get over what happened last year. And this is hard to do because it went on and on for months. And the humiliation it caused a very good man resounds with all of us still. And so I think there has to be an understanding that a real mistake was made in the way Merrick Garland was handled. We've got to recover from it. We've got to go on. I think we should go on, but it's there.
And the president said today that he would urge Mitch McConnell to employ the nuclear option if there is a filibuster to approve Judge Gorsuch as Justice Gorsuch by 51 votes.
Well, that's interesting. That's another threat in a long line of threats. And this Congress needs to stand on its own. We are a separate branch of government. We do have our ideals. Many of us are experienced and have been here for a while. And I don't want to see the Senate of the United States bow down to an executive demand like this. I think, as I said, we're prepared to do our due diligence. We're prepared to move ahead, but understand the difficult circumstances under which this is happening. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, thank you very, very much. Thanks for being with us today.
Good to see you. Thank you.
You too.